Today is July 11th, 2025. We're looking back at the dramatic events of last month when a new war erupted in the Middle East. The conflict was between Israel and Iran, marked by major airstrikes and missile attacks. The world watched anxiously, fearing the violence could spread across the region. This report will break down what happened, focusing on the actions of Israel, Iran, the United States, and the response of the Arab states. The main fighting was between Israel and Iran, with the US joining later. But what about the Arab states? Did they join the war? That's a key question we'll answer. We'll clarify the difference between military action and diplomatic statements, and why that matters. Arab nations had to choose between joining the fight or responding with words. Their decisions were shaped by national interests, regional stability, and long-term goals. Our goal, to give you a clear, factual account of the war and the Arab response. We'll use official sources and statements to explain what really happened. By the end, you'll understand the facts of the Israel-Iran war and the careful stance of the Arab states. This knowledge is crucial for understanding the current Middle East and what might come next. Let's begin by looking at how the conflict started. Here's what unfolded in June 2025. The conflict erupted on June 13th when Israel launched surprise attacks on key Iranian military and nuclear sites. Israel claimed these strikes were vital for its security, seeing Iran's programs as a direct threat. Iran responded swiftly, launching hundreds of missiles and drones at Israeli cities and military bases. The skies filled with rockets and sirens, as both sides demonstrated their military power. Iran's retaliation was massive. Over 550 missiles and more than 1,000 explosive drones. Israel's advanced air defenses worked to intercept the attacks, but the region was gripped by fear and uncertainty. This direct confrontation was long feared by world leaders, and now it was reality. The international community reacted with alarm, urging an immediate end to the fighting. Many Muslim-majority countries, including Turkey and Pakistan, condemned Israel's initial strikes as acts of aggression. The world's focus shifted to de-escalation, but the conflict's next steps were dangerously uncertain. The war's scale and speed shocked the world. The fighting between Israel and Iran had begun, and the region braced for what might come next. The question now, would other nations get involved? The answer came quickly, as a global superpower entered the fray. The United States was about to make its move. Let's see how that changed everything. As the Israel-Iran war raged, the United States stepped in. On June 22nd, US forces bombed 3 of Iran's most critical nuclear sites, Fordow, Isfahan, and Natanz. President Trump declared the strikes had obliterated Iran's facilities, escalating the crisis. The US justified its actions as necessary to stop Iran's nuclear ambitions, a threat, it argued, to the world. The war was no longer just Israel versus Iran. Now, a global superpower was directly involved. The American intervention divided the world. Some supported it, others feared it would widen the war. Iran now faced attacks from both Israel and the United States, making the situation even more volatile. The stakes rose for everyone, especially for Arab states caught between powerful allies and regional rivals. International reactions were mixed. Israel welcomed US support, while many nations warned of greater instability. Russia and China criticized the US for acting without UN approval. The region was on edge and the world waited to see what would happen next. But amid the chaos, rumors began to swirl about the Arab states. As the conflict escalated, confusion spread. Did Arab countries join the war against Israel? The answer is clear. Arab states did not attack Israel. The fighting was strictly between Israel, Iran, and later the United States. No Arab nation sent troops, planes, or weapons into battle. The misconception likely came from the strong language in Arab government statements condemning the attacks. Words like condemnation and heinous signaled disapproval, not military action. These were diplomatic protests, not declarations of war. Israel struck Iran, Iran retaliated, and the US joined in. Those were the facts. Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and others stayed out of the fighting. Their response was limited to official statements and diplomatic channels. Any claim that Arab nations attacked Israel is simply false. The Arab world watched with concern, worried about the violence spreading. Their leaders made their positions clear but chose not to enter the war. Understanding this distinction is essential for an accurate view of the conflict. So, what did the Arab states actually do? Let's look at their diplomatic response. Major Arab states like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan responded with diplomacy, not force. After Israel's strikes, Saudi Arabia publicly denounced the attacks on Iran, calling them heinous. Egypt and Jordan, both with peace treaties with Israel, also condemned the strikes and called for calm. When the US bombed Iranian nuclear sites, Arab nations expressed deep concern, but again stopped short of military action. These statements were carefully crafted to show disapproval without escalating the conflict. Diplomacy, through statements, meetings, and negotiations, was their chosen tool. Condemnation is a way to take a stand without resorting to violence. For Arab states, this was a way to support Iran politically, criticize aggression, and avoid direct confrontation. These were not promises of military support, but clear signals of protest. Arab leaders communicated their stance to their citizens, the region, and the world. They made it clear they did not support the military strikes. This diplomatic approach allowed them to express solidarity while keeping their nations safe. But why did they choose this path? Let's explore the reasons. Why did Arab states choose diplomacy over war? First, they wanted to prevent a wider regional catastrophe. Joining the fight could have brought war to their own soil. Their priority was protecting their people, economies, and security. Second, their relationship with Iran is complicated. While they condemned attacks on Iran, many Arab governments also see Iran as a rival. Some experts believe they quietly welcomed the weakening of Iran's military capabilities. Third, the region is moving toward greater integration with Israel. The Abraham Accords and ongoing talks signal a new era of cooperation. War with Israel would have destroyed years of diplomatic progress and economic opportunity. Arab leaders had to balance support for Iran, public opinion at home, and their own security interests. Choosing diplomacy allowed them to protest, protect their interests, and keep future options open. This was a strategic, not emotional decision. The diplomatic path kept the door open for peace and regional integration. The Arab response was a careful balancing act, one that may shape the region's future. Let's look at what this means for the Middle East going forward. Here's what the facts and the future look like. The facts are clear. The June 2025 war was fought between Israel and Iran, with the US joining in. Arab states did not attack Israel. Their response was strictly diplomatic. Through official statements, they condemned the military actions but avoided direct involvement. This approach was driven by a desire for stability, complex ties with Iran, and a historic shift toward regional integration. Military confrontation would have jeopardized peace and economic progress. The strong condemnations show deep political differences remain, especially over Israeli actions. But choosing diplomacy over war signals a new willingness to resolve crises without violence. The channels of communication remain open, and the hope for regional cooperation endures. The events of June 2025 highlight both the fragility and the potential for change in the Middle East. Arab states' decision to stay out of the fighting marks a break from the past. The future depends on whether dialogue and integration can overcome old divisions. The coming years will reveal if this new approach can bring lasting stability and prosperity. The story of this conflict is still being written, but the lessons are already clear.